Okay guys, so we're back with a painting video. I just painted this fender here, this fender flare, and I kind of wanted to go over some of the products I used, the reason I'm doing this, and just kind of give you guys an overview and maybe help you guys maybe take a chance on maybe painting some stuff in your garage. It's pretty easy. I'm a total DIYer. I have a few few years ago I did some more painting videos, but I'm still just, I'm not a professional at painting, but this is for the guys that, basically want to try it at home. So as you can see, this is my 97 F350 dually that we just picked up about a month ago. And the paint on the truck itself is in really, really good shape, okay? There's a few nicks and scratches here and there, but nothing major, and it looks really good, right? Except for the fender flares. So the fender flares, they take a pretty good beating because, well, first of all, they're fiberglass, so it's not as rigid of a structure as this. And also, you got a really flat surface here that is exposed to the sun, right? So as you can see, the paint's peeling, and it's kind of hard to see on video, but it's really pitted all over the place, okay? So I decided that in order, as you can see, look how nice this looks. And then the fender flares, they look all beat up and really dull and all that. But so I decided that I would paint the fender flares so that it looks as good as the rest of the truck, right? This here is just dirt from, I took these little caps off, and that's just dirt right there. That's not rust or anything like that. So, but the caps are gonna go back on after I paint those black, or repaint them. These are black, but I'm gonna make them better black. So basically what we did, I'm gonna kind of go over all the products I used and the steps I took. Okay, you guys can do this at home. This is like totally DIY. I'm not a professional. Like I said, I've done some other painting videos, but yeah, I'm not a professional. So, feel free to comment on steps I'm not doing right or whatever. So I use this Harbor Freight gun here. It's a 1.3 tip. I use this for the base coat and clear coat. And then I also use just a cheap gun. This is like a $19 gun right here. And I use this to do the epoxy primer, okay? I don't have the epoxy primer here with me, but I'll put a link. It's the Raptor 2-part epoxy primer that you can get on Amazon, okay? So start off, what you want to do is you want to block it. I blocked it down with a sanding disc and some, first off, I started with the 80 grit. So this is 80 grit here, okay? And it's just a stick on, they stick on there. And then from there, we go to 180, right? And once I get it blocked down and I get all the little pits and all the stuff knocked down to where it's flat, where I like it, then I come with the epoxy primer, okay? And the epoxy primer, you don't have to be careful with it. You can just lay it on like it's, I'll put a picture right here of the epoxy primer I use because I already threw it away. I ran out. So I'm gonna put a picture here because I really like this stuff because of the way it sands, okay? You can lay it on heavy and it sands really nice. So once I got it all sanded down and blocked, after the 2-part epoxy primer, then I went ahead and laid down the base coat, okay? Now, after you do base coat, sometimes you'll get like little nibs in it and it's not quite like, it's a little textured, okay? Base coat doesn't lay down flat and nice like clear coat does. It gives you a little texture after you're done. So you want to take like a 3M pad, a brand new one with nothing on it, like no grease or no contaminants. It's got to be brand new, okay? You take that, and then after the base coat dries, you go back and you just denib it real carefully. Now, I'm not recommending you do that with like any kind of like a metallic or anything like that, but this is just a basic flat color. I don't know what would happen if you did that with metallic. Maybe someone else can drop a comment and share their experience with that. But so anyway, I knock it down with this 3M red Scotch-Brite, until I get it nice and flat. And it's gonna look like scratched up, but that's okay. And then what I'll do is I'll lay another coat of base coat down, okay? And then I'll repeat that process again. I'll knock that down with the 3M emery cloth. All right, so once we do that, then I'm ready for the clear. Now, what I use is I use this Finish One clear. This is, again, this is a budget, very budget friendly FC 720. And I use the slow hardener. Okay, this is very important. Use slow hardener. Unless you're like a professional and you're trying to go through production, right? Use slow hardener because it helps prevent solvent pop. So once you get your base coat down, and the base coat dries really quickly. Like I was sanding the base coat after about 15, 20 minutes. So once you get all that denibbed and you're ready to do your clear, you put one coat of clear that it can have some dry spots. It's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be put on wet. Some people say that you put it on wet. Some people say you put a first coat on that's dry. You do whatever you want. I'm just telling you what I did, and these are the results I got, okay? So I did that. I put a coat down, and then after that, I let it dry 15 minutes. Now, I did not cheat on that whatsoever, and do not cheat on that. I painted this black Mustang over here. I hate going on these tangents because you guys yell at me for it. I get a lot of comments on people like, get to the point. But anyway, I painted this black car here, and I painted the white car. The black car, I was a little less educated on painting, and we got a lot of solvent pop in this one. It's really, really hard to see, but deep in the clear, you see little, it's like little speckles. And what that is if you go back and put your second coat of clear on clear coat that has not flashed off yet, meaning all the solvents are out of it, those solvents are going to try to go through the clear the second coat of clear you put down, and it's going to cause little like dimples all over your paint. So make sure you give it 15 minutes to dry, if not more, okay? And then on the last coat, I only do 2 coats of clear. I'm not going to do like 5 coats of clear, and then I'm not going to like cut and buff this and try to make it a show car. I mean, this is a truck, right? I'm not even painting the rest of the truck. The rest of the truck looks really good, but it's not going to be a show truck, okay? I'm going to Raptor liner the bed and basically paint the fenders, and I might paint the roof, and that's it. That's all we're doing. And then I'll just polish the whole car, the whole truck, and we'll call it good. So yeah, so the second coat of clear I put down, and I put it down the way I wanted it to look. That's all you have to remember is lay it down how you want it to look. Whether it's you overlap it, however you want it, like a 75% overlap, meaning you're only moving, like if it's 5 inches, you move like a half an inch, okay? You want to get that nice 75% coverage. It's gonna flow out real nice, and you can see it looks really wet. And this has actually been about 45 minutes, so it's pretty dry to the touch. Just a little tacky, which is, that's fine. That's because I'm using the slow hardener. And I do have a run right here, but don't worry about runs. I'm going to show you guys, I have videos on how to get rid of runs. It's so easy. You would rather have a run that you have to get rid of than a dry spot, okay? Dry spot is a nightmare trying to get that to look good, with the buffer and trying to cut it and all. Just let it run. If you make a mistake and you get too close, or you let it sit too long in one spot and it runs, don't worry about it. There's so many videos out there on how to get rid of runs, okay? So make sure you just put it on how you want it to look, right? And that's it. I mean, I did this in here. I only covered up half the truck. I didn't cover up the bed because I'm gonna Raptor liner that. So that's gonna be all black and lined. So yeah, I just wanted to show the products I used. I do recommend this Spectral. I don't know if I said that or not. That was part of the video. This is Spectral paints. It's from Amazon. I think I paid $50 for that quart, and it's a 1-to-1 mix, so you get double that. And for that whole fender, I literally use this much, okay? That's it. So I have all this left. I could do the roof, I can do the other fender, whatever. And I'll have leftover for touch-up. So a quart will get you pretty far, especially when you're doing it one-to-one, okay? And the one-to-one I use is this here. This is the reducer I use, Speed Coat. Oh, that's the name of the, that's also the name of the epoxy primer I use too, Speed Coat. And it's got like a dinosaur on it. But there's the part number there, medium reducer, gives you the temperature range. Right now, today, it's about 80 degrees today. You don't want to do it too hot, and you definitely don't want to do it too cold. Okay, too cold, in my opinion, is worse than being too warm, right? So I've done both. I painted my Datsun 2 years ago, and I did it when it was a little too cold, and it took me forever to cut and buff that. It came out great, but it just, in my opinion, warmer weather, clear just seems to lay down nice in like 75 to 80 degrees, okay? So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to give you guys a little, some tips on painting and stuff like that. I know I haven't made a lot of videos lately. I've been busy working, and honestly, I do enjoy working on my truck without having to hold a camera in my face and go through every single thing I've done to the truck. I did put a new radio in it. I won't make this video too long because I know you guys don't like that, but I did put a new radio, the one that everybody puts. It's the Power Acoustic. I got the backup camera on there, and I'm also working on putting a JL Audio sub in the back. It's right there. And I made like a temporary box, but I'm gonna change that. That box, it didn't really fit very well. It works good, but it doesn't fit very well. So I'm gonna redo that. And I have a JL amp right there that is gonna go with it. So everything's wired up and all that. And then maybe the next thing I'm gonna do also, after I finish the paint on this fender, the other fender, possibly the roof, is we'll do exhausts. And then that's pretty much it. That's all I'm gonna do to this truck. This truck only has 154,000 miles on it, runs like a dream, fires up instantaneously when you hit the key. So no oil leaks. So we're gonna try to keep this truck as original as possible. The previous owner did put a chip in it. So it does have a chip, but I'm not sure exactly what chip it is. But it makes pretty good power. And the other thing I'm going to do is the trim. So this is the window trim here. Usually it is like chrome, stainless steel or whatever, but I'm gonna paint it, which I already did this one here with trim black, SCM trim black. And that is going to be, the trim is gonna be black instead of the silver. Because in my opinion, the silver, it just doesn't look good. It gets dingy really easy. And I really like this SCM black. I used it on this car, used it on that car. Yeah, so that's that. That's pretty much gonna do it for this video, guys. I just wanted to share the products I used and a little step-by-step, not the full, showing you how to do it, but, experiment, try it yourself, maybe practice on a little panel or something like that. But you can paint stuff for extremely cheap. If you take it somewhere, they're gonna charge you outrageous amounts of money. So learning this skill will really help you save some money, okay? I probably have 30 bucks in paint and material. With the sandpaper, I use Guide Coat too, the box of sand, the paint, the clear, probably 30 or 40 bucks. And I'm gonna be able to paint that one and that one for that price, okay? So give it a try, and it'll save you some money. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Check y'all later.